Is this the end, ladies and gentlemen? Is this the end? Is this the last we've seen of Venus Williams? She loses today to 62nd ranked opponent Diana Shnaider from the Federation. Now, Diana was on my list of teenagers to watch out for this season. Here, she's upset as she misses an easy drop shot against Venus Williams, who was camped out on the baseline. Now, Venus Williams, she's 0-2 on the season. We saw her go 3-7 last year. In 22, she went 0-4. So the last couple seasons hasn't really gone well. I mean, what do you guys think? 3-13, the last 2 years, winless so far this year. Is it time to hang it up? We all know Serena Williams, number one on my all-time great list. But where's Venus? She's number five. Okay, we're talking about the modern era. She's number five on my all-time great list, right? 7 slam titles. She's got the 5 at Wimbledon, 2 at the U.S. Open. She's never won the French Open or the Australian Open. And Serena had a lot to do with that, just being in her way a lot of those times. She's 7-9 in Grand Slam championship appearances, the most decorated Olympic gold medalist in tennis, male or female. She's there. She's got that accolade. Amazing career, 80% win rate for most of her career, except, the last 5, 6 years, she hasn't done much. She's been injured. I understand that. But is it time to hang it up? Now, her few wins last year, some pretty decent competition. Katie Volynets, right? She's just outside the top 100 right now. Camilla Giorgi sitting just outside the top 100 right now. But a top 20 win last year against Veronika Kudermetova. Very solid win. And of course, Georgie, we can consider her a top 50 player in any day. She just hasn't really been active and she hasn't been able to string together wins. Katie Volynets, I think she's a top 100 player, right? She's getting there. Solid wins for Venus. But my question is, how long will she continue to get these wild cards into these big tournaments? She hasn't won in Miami in multiple years. I want to say 5 years. Yes, she's been injured. She hasn't been active. I understand that. But how long can she continue to get these wild cards? Now, listen, here's what I think. Look at Mateo coming back from injury. He had to go to the Phoenix Challenger and get it in the mud, right? He made it to the championship. And look, I started to cover his matches. I should have posted those videos. But he's a top 20 player. He's a top 20 ATP male player any day of the week. Injured, he's got to go to the Challenger and build his form before he can compete with the big dogs. Venus, I feel personally this is her last year. I think this is it because I feel if she really wanted to be a tour player, she would play tournaments for one, right? I mean, she would play. The fact that she's getting these wild cards into these big tournaments and look, yes, she did come back at the Indian Wells. So I guess we'll see what happens after here. Like, for example, will she get a wild card into Charleston? Probably so. But what about the clay season? I feel if she doesn't play the clay season, then she might play Charleston and then wrap it up for grass. So she's healthy for grass because clay, I mean, she never really was that amazing clay player. She was a good clay player, but a lot of players, when they get older, they'll pass on clay, and a lot of them will actually pass on grass as well. But Venus is not going to pass on grass. It's a faster surface, but it's her best surface. She's got one of the highest win percentages on grass. And we all know the 5 Wimbledon championships. Me personally, I think this year she's going to retire at Wimbledon. I think it's fitting for her to retire at Wimbledon. Serena, we already sent Serena off with an amazing retirement farewell on Arthur Ashe. I was there. The celebration was amazing. They gave us all these memorable type of displays to hold up, and it all spelled "We love you, Serena." I still have mine, by the way. It's a collector's item, but nonetheless, I think Wimbledon is the tournament for her to retire, and I think this is her last year. This is my personal opinion. Otherwise, she would play more matches, and the fact that she's the fact that she's losing round after round in the first round to younger competition that could not even hold her gym bag when she was in her prime. It makes me sad. And of course, I'm gonna look. There's a lot of people on the channel that are new to the channel, and they haven't really understood that. Look, it's fair game. We talk tennis here, and if you're having a bad match, it's my job to talk about it. Now, we don't personally attack players. That's not what we do here, but we have to talk tennis. And it doesn't matter who you are, at one point or another on the channel, I've had to criticize your game or something about your game. It's fair criticism. It's the Fair Use Tennis Reporting Act. Okay? Fair Use Reporting Act. We have to talk about the tough topics that people don't want to talk about. And I think it's time for Venus to retire. I cannot watch greatness. My number 5 top female player of all time lose like this. Diana's a good talent. She is. She made my top teenage prospects list to watch out for, but she's a prospect. I don't think she's a contender yet. And she's wrapped up. Her knee's been wrapped up for quite some time. And Venus is as well. Now, I think Venus can get balls back. I do think she has trouble with the lift on her serve. And I think she has trouble moving vertical. Horizontally, she can cover the baseline. She's got a long reach, long wingspan, a long stride. She can get balls back. And with her power, if you give her open look down the line, it's a slam dunk if this were basketball. She still has it down the line. But the serve tells me she doesn't have the lift because she's tall. She's got a long reach. You know, the fact that she's netting a lot on her serves tells me she doesn't have the lift in her knees. And you can see her knees been wrapped up. She's had knee issues. It's her right to play as long as she wants. And as long as she plays, I'll watch because I can remember a time where she was tennis. You know, Venus and Serena, they were tennis. They were bigger than tennis. They're icons, you know, very big culturally. You name it. They are American tennis. But it's sad for me to see a great like this hang on a bit too long. I think Serena has a family. Venus doesn't have children yet. Um, Best wishes to her when she does decide to. But I think Serena saw the writing on the wall. She's like, look, I'm a mother now. And Serena's a businesswoman. Venus is too. Serena's just had so many other ventures where, you know, a lot of her friends that play said they couldn't even, you know, meet Serena for coffee and they're literally neighbors. So Serena had a lot going on. And I think she stepped away at the right time and she went out with a beautiful ceremony. I would love to see Venus get a beautiful ceremony like that at Wimbledon, a tournament she dominated. But I think it's time for Venus to hang it up. That's just my personal opinion, and I don't want to affect anyone. By the way, as we take a look at Halep and Badosa, they're going on right now. That's an amazing match. By the way, that's a marathon match. Both of those ladies giving their all, and that's what I want to see Venus do. I want to see her continue to give her all, but at this point, her all, it's just I don't think it's enough. You know, like if, for example, if you know, there's rankings for a reason. I understand that. You know, is Venus going to ever make the top 20 or 10 again? Probably not. Can she? I think if she played a full schedule, I think she can at least break the top 100. I don't know about the top 50 or the top 40 because when you take a look at the rankings from 50 to 100, those ladies are really, really hungry and they're doing their all to win tournaments, to win matches, to gain points, to get game checks, and they're fast and explosive. Take someone like Clara Buell, who, even though she lost today to Caroline Wozniacki, a good friend of the Williams sisters, she's right around that 40, 50 ranking, right? I don't know if Venus could hang with someone that's so versatile like that with drop shots and slices. Someone like Buell is not going to baseline with Venus. She's going to hit her with drop shots. I don't think Venus can cover those type of balls at her age, you know? And it's her knee. She has knee issues. That's what it is. She's such a mentally and physically tough warrior. She can still play, but she has knee issues. Take someone like Kai Kanepi, who doesn't really have the knee issues. By the way, she's had a ton of injuries over her career, but she doesn't really have those knee issues now to where she can play. Now, she hasn't been that active, but I'm just using her as an example. Or even someone like Daria Seville, who, I mean, she's a lot younger, by the way, but she's had several knee surgeries, but she doesn't have the knee pain. She can get balls back. She can be competitive. Venus has too much, there's too much pain with her knee for her to be consistently playing in tournaments and gaining points. Therefore, I think it's time for her to hang it up. And look, I mean this in no disrespect. There's a lot of Venus Williams fans that are going to watch this. I love Venus. She's number 5 on my all-time list, but it saddens me to see her lose to players that could not even hold her gym bag. And no disrespect to Diana Shnaider. She's a great upcoming talent. She's a multiple junior slam winner. She's the future of Russian tennis. I understand that. But Venus was on another level at one point. You know, she's made 16 Grand Slam finals. You have players that literally Hall of Fame caliber, like Svitolina, who's never even made a Grand Slam championship match. Venus made 16 of them. That's very tough to do. She's a great, but I think it's time to hang it up. What do you guys think? Comment below. Let's have a respectful conversation, but I think it's time to hang it up. Comment below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Tennis in a Minute. We'll be back.